Good evening. This is the dimension of unbelievability. It is an area which we call the Frauditor Zone. In today's episode, we go down under to see Alex from Collaborative Observation getting arrested again for the third time in under 2 months. Hey everyone, today I take you back down under for the frauditor named Collaborative Observation who goes to fraud a library and gets arrested for trespassing. In case you've missed my previous videos on Alex, this is his third arrest. This frauditing infection has reached its full potential and has fully taken over Alex's brain cell. He is now a United States frauditor living in an Australian man's body. There is no cure. There is no hope. All that is left to do now is just to watch and laugh at his stupidity. We owe it to him.
Watching us.
To let you know that if you want to take some photos of signs, that's absolutely fine.
Yep.
But we do have a policy that you can't capture any people on the video
Oh,
in the library, so
can't capture people.
you can't be filming people in the library without permission. So
It's a public building? Government building?
yeah, we're a council
Oh,
body.
so they're in public. There's no expectation of privacy.
No, there is, and that's a council policy to respect people's privacy, and as a child safe policy, you cannot be filming in the library where there are people. So you're welcome to grab some images of our signage, or
I mean, I might get some people. Like
well,
I'm
what
getting
I'm letting you
right
know is that it's against policy for you to
Okay.
capture any people on video without their permission.
now. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I just get you to turn that off while it's
I mean, it's Victorian state law. Your policy doesn't really trump the state law. I can film in public. This is a public building. I pay for it.
If he can afford to pay for a whole library, then he could certainly afford some photography lessons. Look at this crap. He has part of the woman's head in the frame, the view is all slanted, and the ceiling is most of the frame. Actually, you're in a library. You could probably find a how-to book, but I know that involves reading. Well, for someone rich enough that owns the whole library, just get someone to read it out loud for you. Now, I've given you plenty of suggestions. I really don't want to see this type of poor filming in the future.
So-
it's not that straightforward. So
It is that straightforward. Your policies can't infringe my rights. I understand maybe we're
well,
filming
if you,
children and
if you'd
stuff.
like to
but
take it up with someone more senior than me, I can
yeah, if you
put
can.
you in touch
Yeah,
with
I don't want to turn
someone.
it off.
But for
so.
now, I do need you to turn that off until this is resolved.
I don't want to turn it off. Yeah,
don't want to
it's
turn it
because
off?
violating my rights.
I'm
yeah.
not violating your rights.
Well,
You're actually
there's no expectation of privacy in public, so they're in public.
in a building like this.
Yeah, this is a
There
public building. It's a government building. It's the same as any other. I just went into the council. I was filming in there. They said nothing. Just in Monash Council. There.
Maybe they weren't aware that you were
No,
filming.
I spoke to the guy. No, he came up and spoke to me. Yeah, and I asked him specifically, am I allowed to film in there? He said, yeah. He goes, we don't have anyone usually filming, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if you have people's permission to film,
I didn't have anyone's permission. He came up to me after and he said he was okay, yeah.
Are you as confused as I am? When the woman suggested that maybe they weren't aware of him filming, he said they were, that he spoke to a man who told him it was perfectly fine. Then when the woman pointed out that he had permission to film, he changed it to the man came up to him after. So either the man knew he was filming and gave him permission, or the man didn't know, but he came up to him for some other reason and was told he had been filming, which means the man didn't know. The only thing I am clear about is that he's lying about something.
No, that policy is old and you can't enforce it. It's actually against the law. It's illegal policy because Victorian state law says I can record in public. This is a public building, you know, so they don't have any expectation of privacy in public. No one does. Yeah, if you want to get your supervisor or something, but yeah, I don't want to stop my recording. Unfortunately, yeah. Because
Can I ask you why you're
I don't want to
recording?
allow you to infringe my rights.
Can I ask you why you're recording?
It's a beautiful building and I want to see the stuff that's in here.
Yeah.
It's a library. They have this thing that they call books. I suggest you pull out one or two and give it a go. Here, I got one for you that I think would be a good read for you.
I pay for it, like the taxpayers pay for it.
They do, but that doesn't give you the right to film people without their permission.
They don't. So there's no expectation of privacy in public. You don't need permission because this is public. Like as soon as you step out your door, there's cameras watching you everywhere. You have cameras right there.
People have a
One,
right
two.
to privacy. There are kinds of
Not
filming.
not in public. I mean, I can see two cameras right there. So you're watching them.
That's
There is no
security. That's different.
But that they don't have privacy. You're watching them. So there's no privacy in public. As soon as you step out your door,
It depends who is doing the filming, and
no, not really. I mean, you couldn't put a camera in someone's house. That would be against the law, or in a private business or a private dwelling. So the government couldn't, this library couldn't, whoever runs it. The only reason you can put those cameras is because this is public.
Actually, the only reason they could put cameras there is because they have the right to manage the building as they see fit. In this case, it's really no different than a private house. The owner of the private house has the right to put cameras in their house, and the government has the right to put up cameras in their library. And they put it up for security reasons. They don't put the video on YouTube. So please, Alex, just reach out your hand and whatever book you feel you should read. It doesn't matter what the book is about. Just read a book and shut up.
You know, so
but
yeah,
you cannot film people without their permission. If
You are.
it is against their will, you need to stop.
you're doing it right now. You're filming everyone. Everyone. There's no expectation.
But you're a private individual in a public building.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they are security cameras.
Oh, this is for my security.
No, it's not.
It is. It's. I want to
You
see what's
just-
going on.
That is not for your security.
It
You said
is.
that was for your personal interest.
For my personal interest, to get everything that's happening and make sure it's all in good order, and yeah, make sure you guys aren't doing anything to the people and to the building. I mean, yeah, who's going to watch you guys? Who?
Okay, I object to that statement. That is quite a disrespectful and rude accusation, and I would actually like you to leave the building now, please.
Just because I said I'm recording for my security.
Because you are not agreeing to our policies, and I object to your last
Your
statement.
policy is trying to infringe my rights
We're not trying to infringe your
You
rights,
are.
we're trying to protect the privacy of the people
in
in our
public
building.
while you're watching them. In public while you're watching them with the camera.
going
Do
around
you want to
in
just get your
circles.
supervisor?
We've got-
I don't think you
I'm
know
the
it.
most senior person
I
here
am?
right now,
Yeah.
and I'm asking you to please leave.
Well, I just walked in. I'm still filming. I'm not going to leave. You have no
Okay,
right.
well,
yeah.
I'll have to call somebody better to assist.
You can do what you want.
Notice that when he finally finds a book, it's in another language that I'm pretty sure he can't read. I underestimated him and his stupidity. Forget the reading part. Maybe he can find another activity to keep him busy and quiet while he's refusing to leave. Now he's trying to overachieve, but I don't think this is something that's good for him, since it requires logical thinking. Keep looking, Alex.
This is some signage that's developed by our communications team, which clearly states that you cannot take photos or video of anyone except for your own family or friends. Okay.
How do you know that these people are my friends? I mean, I'm a community member. I'm serious. I'm a community member.
Are they your friends?
I probably know many of them. Yeah.
And do you have their permission to film them?
It doesn't say that I need the permission. It doesn't say that I need the permission.
It says that you can only film if they.
It's pretty vague. It's pretty vague. I don't know why you. What's the problem with me taking a
Because
few
a lot
photos?
of people
It's not-
object to being filmed
but I'm not going
or
up to
photographed
people.
without their permission.
I'm not going up to people and engaging with them.
No, but you're capturing people as you walk around the library and you're being very discreet about it, which means they're not aware that they're being
I'm
filmed.
holding it like that. How do you want me to hold it like this? I mean, they're aware that they're being filmed. They're in public, there's windows. Like, there's no expectation of privacy. I don't know what the problem is.
I'm explaining what the problem is, and again,
You're
because
saying
you're
because
refusing
they
to
this, that.
respect the policy of the City of Monash and respect the privacy of our customers.
You haven't even
we
showed
have
me a
put
pole.
security over.
Yeah, I'll speak to them, but
Sure.
they can't do
Okay.
nothing. And
Can you please turn that off until they arrive? I don't
I'll just
understand
wait
why
for
you're
them.
being so difficult. I don't understand why you're being.
I feel like I'm being
feeling this
harassed.
level of
I feel like I'm
refusal.
being harassed. Like, all I'm doing is just, I have a right to be here. This is a public space. And I've come to take a few pictures to remember for myself what this building looks like. And it's like, you're harassing me. You've called the
I'm not
security.
harassing you. I'm simply
That's what I
trying
feel
to
like.
inform you of the policy of the City of Monash.
Yeah,
I'm going
I
to stop talking
understand.
to you
I
now because we're
understand.
going around in circles and I'm no longer comfortable talking to you.
Okay,
I'm
well,
going to wait for our security to
okay,
come.
thank you. Yes.
Can you please stop filming people?
I mean, they're in public, sir. Can you just stay at 2 meters, COVID and stuff?
Yeah.
They're in public, sir.
No, it's not public. This is a place of work. It's a public space, being a library, but you're not allowed to film people. You can take photographs of structures and things, but you can't take photographs of other people.
I don't know where you got that from. So this is a public space?
This is a public library.
Is it a public space that I'm allowed to be in?
You're allowed to be here.
So that means
but
I can
you-
take pictures
No, you
of
can't.
people or anything. I don't know where you got that from.
You can't. And
I've
look,
been
if
through
you
this
keep filming,
before, you're
we've asked you to
mistaken.
leave, okay?
She's
You've
already
you've
asked me to leave,
You've
I'm
already
not
been
leaving.
asked, and if you if you're causing unrest, we'll call the police, okay?
Oh, you can do whatever you want. You're mistaken. I've already gone through this 1,000 times and you're mistaken. This is a public space that I can stand in, and Victorian state law, I can show you the law, says that I can take pictures in public of anything that my eyes can see.
No, you
So-
can't.
well, that's Victorian
there's
state law.
signs in here. that
Your
you cannot-
policy doesn't
and
trump the law. So the Victorian
This is
state
a
law,
council-managed space,
it's public.
which is open to the public.
Yeah, it's public. I'm legally allowed to stand here as a member of a public.
But you're not allowed to take photos of
Oh.
people using the space.
That's your policy and it's against the law. I've
Okay.
been through it before. It's,
Well, look,
yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome to call anyone you want, but yeah, they're not going to help you. You can't do nothing. This is a public space. So we have the right to record and take pictures,
You don't.
to hold people accountable,
don't.
to hold the government workers. You guys,
You can hold us accountable, but you
Well,
can't,
how,
you
if we can't
take-
record you?
You can't take pictures of people in public space, in our public space,
I,
okay?
yeah, I don't know where you got that from. That's your policy. Yeah, it doesn't trump the law. How you going, mate?
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Greg from Black
Yeah.
Hills. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yeah, the policy doesn't trump the law, mate. I've been through this before, and Victorian state law says I can record in public. He said that I'm legally allowed to stand here. This is a public space.
No use us discussing the legalities, but I think we're probably at a point where we'd ask you to leave.
Yeah, they've already asked me to leave. I'm engaged in I'm exercising my rights.
They go back and forth for quite a while, and then the police get called. While Alex films nothing of worth, he eventually does go outside when the police arrive, so I'll just skip past all this drivel and take you there. But first, I want to show you the utter stupidity of all frauditors and their total lack of knowledge and the ability to think.
Public, I mean, you can't really do anything. Come on, mate. That's a crime to block my camera. You actually you're engaged in a crime, mate.
That's all right.
That's all right, is it?
While I know nothing about Victorian laws, I do know that Alex doesn't either. They tried this crap in the United States as well, but it's just wrong. There is no law that says you can't block someone's camera view, and blocking his view to prevent him from filming a restricted area would not be a criminal matter anyway. No one is going to get arrested for that. Now, for all you wonderful people in Australia, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
You guys are nuts.
We've been really fair and reasonable.
See, what you do is you tint this window or you put a curtain on there instead of blocking my camera and engaging yourself in a crime.
But if they put a curtain in front of the window and he wants to film in there, isn't that a crime? Just like putting a book in front of the window? Oh, frauditors are just so confusing. It's confusing how they got this ignorant. Okay, let's go meet the men that will eventually arrest this frauditor.
Fellas,
Hello, sir.
can I just get your name and badge number?
What? haven't asked for your details, so
Oh.
you don't really need to have mine, but I'm sure you can film it. That's right there,
Yeah,
mate.
Barnes, acting sergeant, and yours is Bitar. Get your badge numbers or?
40363 is mine.
Thank you.
39136. What's
Thank you
going
very
on,
much.
sir?
Oh, I just came here to film this wonderful public buildings. I was in the council next door.
Not a problem.
And then I seen the library and I've come in. I went in the council filming, they didn't have a problem.
Yep.
Came in here and they said I couldn't film, I had to stop filming.
Yeah.
And I said,
Inside the building with kids and all that stuff. There's issues around
just
the
to
surveillance.
stay
Act.
2 meters, yeah, just
Oh,
covered
that's
and
all
stuff.
good, mate.
Thanks. I wasn't filming any kids and stuff.
You're
wasn't.
filming in there. You're filming.
Oh, it's a public building. It's Victorian
Nothing
state
to do
law
with
says.
public buildings, mate.
Yes, it does. Victorian state law says that I can
You
record.
cannot film anyone who's not a party to any action inside a structure that they wouldn't reasonably expect to be filmed or surveilled.
And if it's a private conversation where they haven't given their consent, then that's actually could be classed as an offence under the Electronic Surveillances Act. So if someone's having a private conversation and you haven't asked their consent for that private conversation to be filmed, then you could be committing.
You're
an
saying
offence.
that people can have private conversations in
Well,
public,
it's a
in a
public
public
place,
building.
and so there's people there.
They can't have a private
So
conversation.
see how these people are having a conversation right now?
Yeah, that wouldn't
you
be
wouldn't be able
private.
to.
Yes.
You wouldn't be able to film them without their consent.
Absolutely, I could.
No, you
couldn't.
can't.
Of course I could.
You're
They're in
close enough
public.
to pick up the audio there.
Yeah.
That's,
Of course. So
then-
wherever, if I can stand wherever Victorian state law, I can show you the law.
Yeah.
So Victorian
Mate,
state
we've
law
just-
and
mate,
UN
we've
law,
just looked up the Surveillance Act in anticipation of this conversation.
surveillance. I think you're
That's
talking about.
the Electronic Surveillance Act.
no, you're
That
talking
covers
about-
all about filming out in public and what can
No,
and
no.
can't be filmed.
I was curious what the officer was referring to, so I did a quick Google search. According to the Australian government's website, there is the Telecommunications Interception and Access Act of 1979 that makes it an offense for a person to intercept or access private communications without the knowledge of those involved in that communication. So for my lovely viewers in Australia, please let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Do you think the officer is correct?
Once,
No, not in public.
and Michael, right?
I think you're
who's-
talking about like
who's the coordinator of
snooping,
Michael Laws?
or
No.
it's called.
No. The Surveillance Act is as simple as pointing your iPhone at someone.
Not in public, mate. So if I'm listen,
Maybe a
Victorian
public
state
building,
law.
but it's inside a structure.
Victorian state law says
We're
that
not
if
really
I'm
gonna have an argument
if
with
I'm
you here.
legally allowed
You've
to
been told
stand
to
there,
leave there.
yeah,
And that's
And
what
you've
we
left
are
there.
here for. So if you're in a shopping centre,
that's a private
Listen.
business. That's a private business.
if you come to a library and
You don't want to listen to
the
me, eh?
coordinator tells you that you need to leave
Just
because
no,
you're
2
causing
meters, please. Yeah.
discomfort or angst to the public, he is allowed to tell you to leave, okay?
I wasn't causing any angst to anybody.
Okay,
I was
but-
in there for a few
And
minutes.
that's fine, and you are entitled to that opinion where you feel that you weren't causing any angst to anyone in the public. But as the coordinator of the local laws, Michael has asked you to leave. He's formed the opinion, let me finish.
Yeah.
He's formed the opinion and the belief that you're causing discomfort to the public, and he is allowed to ask you to leave. If you don't leave, that's when
Allowed.
we get involved,
Right,
and then we are now having this conversation.
right. Yeah. So
So what's your first name, just so I can address
I'm not
you?
giving my name. I haven't done anything wrong,
I'm
so I
not
don't want to
asking
give my
you to
name.
give me all your details.
Yeah.
Just when I'm talking to you.
Alex.
Alex. All right. So you're not allowed back in the library. Your permission to be in there has been revoked by the people in charge of those premises. Out here, fine.
Yeah.
Continue
I'm
filming.
gonna,
but
what
as I
happens, I'm
said,
going to go back in. What are you going to do?
You go back in there, we'll arrest you for trespass.
You'll arrest me for trespassing.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. So your
Uh,
right to be in there has been revoked.
So if they ask me to leave because of the color of my skin, you'd enforce that, and I refused. Would you?
That's
I'm just
not what's
asking. Would you
Charlie,
enforce that?
we're having take all your
So
video.
let
put it
me
up
me
on
just
whatever
let me
bloody
just
YouTube channel
can
you
I
want.
speak for 1 minute? Yeah. So don't interrupt, both of you. So Victorian state law says that wherever I can stand legally, I'm allowed to film. I'm allowed to take pictures.
That's not
I can.
right.
Do you want me to pull you?
That's not right.
No, because you're only looking at it from one little. We've already explained it to you, right? that doesn't.
You're
that,
fine out here. I'm going to lay it down for you very simply.
Yeah.
You enter that building again, you'll be arrested and
God.
charged for trespass.
Wow.
You want to hang out here. You film people without their consents in private moments, in a place that they wouldn't
That's
reasonably
public.
expect it to be, wouldn't reasonably be expected that their private activities would be filmed, you are breaching the
And
Surveillance
they
Act.
could potentially be having a private conversation where they didn't give you consent for.
And you're saying that that can happen in that library
Yes.
and
So,
out here and
While
out
you're
here.
Googling your Victorian state law, look up the electronic
I
surveillance
already
Act.
know that, mate. That's for
Don't go in there, arrest them.
mate. I'm going in there. Like
Cool.
you
They'll
gotta.
ring AAA. We'll be back. You can go in the cuffs and you can have your little 5 moments in the sun.
What, are you serious?
Yes.
You will be arrested. Simple as that.
Well, can we just pretend that I walked in and you
No.
can do the thing?
We're not.
Very
Why?
simple.
We're not
We
gonna
told
do
you
that.
permission to be.
I'll just walk in there now and you can
Cool.
do your thing.
Go. That's
What are you
what's
gonna do?
happen. You'll
What
be
are you gonna do?
arrested, and then I will get your details.
And what are you gonna do
because
after
you've
that?
committed the offence, and then you'll be charged for trespass, and you'll receive a summons, and you will go to court, and you can explain this whole scenario to a magistrate while you're wasting his time. All right, he's been told. If he goes
Mate, there's
back
no
in,
way I'm going back
zero
in.
again,
You're nuts.
or arrested and charged.
Just thugs, eh? You just thugs come in, think you can do whatever you like, eh? Look at them, absolute tyrants, mate. You see this tyrantry? They don't even want to explain. Just go back in and bloody
Mate,
put
you've
your
been
cuffs on.
explained so many times. I'm
Well,
not
explain
here to
what, mate?
teach
You're
you
bloody
the
talking
English
about some
language.
surveillance. Who's surveillancing in a public building?
Just Alex.
What are you
just
talking
listen.
about surveillance in a public building? They're telling me about surveillance laws in a public building.
Listen.
That's the laws they're trying to tell me.
Don't engage
Michael's
them.
going to point
Don't
you
engage
to the
them.
2 buildings that you're
Mate,
not
there's
allowed
no
to go
way.
in.
Give me the trespass. Give me the trespass now. I'm going to sue you. Give me the trespass. I'll put a foot in and you can give me
Put
the
a foot
trespass,
in.
yeah?
Cool.
He's the
I'll
one.
arrest you.
That's the civic centre.
I've just walked into the council building filming. They had no problem.
Doesn't matter.
It's revoked to enter both
He's
buildings.
telling
It's a
you
bloody
no.
government building.
It's not how it works.
Mate, give me the trespass.
Walk in there
All right,
and you'll
I'll
be
walk in.
arrested.
All right.
Alright, place your hands behind your back. Place your hands behind your back. Put your phone down over there if you want. So it's not.
Like they say, 3 times the charm. I wasn't sure if maybe Alex is just very lonely, very stupid, or just very crazy. I mean, this is the 3rd arrest in under 3 months. It's like he almost wants to get arrested. Or maybe he thought he was so clever in that he would get trespassed and then he could file a lawsuit. But they did warn him that he'd be arrested, so it's not like he didn't know. Anyway, who's placing bets on when arrest number 4 will be? For this Frauditor Fatigue cooldown segment, upon request, and because it's just a great video to showcase them, I present to you kangaroos.